Hello, and welcome to Just Therapist Things, where we talk all things therapy. My name is Jordan, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist from sunny California. I currently work at a private practice where we focus on child anxiety reduction, and I also work for a nonprofit cancer support organization. Thanks for listening. Hi there. It has been a minute. There has been a lot going on in the past 6 or so months with changing jobs, having trips, apartment issues, and also getting engaged. Yay. Which brings me to the topic of this episode: how to care for your mental health while wedding planning. The last 6 or so months have been amazing and overwhelming and a whirlwind. Engagements mean different things for different people. Some people don't ever get married. The engagement is the commitment. Some start wedding planning right away. Some wait, some elope. Whatever it is a big step in life, and it is okay to be excited and anxious, joyful and stressed. All feelings can coexist. I personally am pretty type A in all areas of life, and especially while wedding planning. So I started pretty early and have already gotten a lot done, even though we do have a year. And actually, as I'm recording this episode, it is actually the year to date of our wedding date, which is very, very exciting. Something that my fiance taught me and that is helping me to stay in the present and not get too caught up in the planning or not get too stressed about it is that you are only a fiance once. So this was really important advice to me, kind of from the beginning, because we got engaged in October 2023, and initially we were considering, okay, do we get married in 2024? Does that seem too soon? And we decided that that just felt a little too rushed for us. So we have kind of a little bit of a longer engagement. It'll be a little more than a year and a half. And sometimes that felt like too much time as well. And that kind of stressed me out too, that, oh my gosh, that's too much time. So what is the happy medium? But he would tell me, and he still does, he says, you're only a fiance once. We have our whole lives to be married and call each other husband and wife. And this fiance period only lasts for a little bit of time. So why not enjoy it and just make the most out of it? And that's really helpful to me, just to ground me, even today, even when we are a year out and still have a lot of planning to do. Wedding planning has really been so fun in this fiance stage, and we are just making the most out of being engaged and just being together. And honestly, time goes by so fast nowadays, so I know that the wedding day will just come before we know it. So why not enjoy the present? And for each and every couple, each and every partnership, fiance ship only lasts a short period of time. No matter how long it lasts, just remember to enjoy it. Also, side note, something kind of funny is that I find the word fiance a little cringy sometimes, because I think that whenever I just say it in casual conversation, like, oh, haha, yeah, me and my fiance are going to blah, blah, blah this weekend, then it always elicits a reaction. Like someone has to say, oh, congratulations, when's your wedding? And sometimes I just don't want to have that conversation, or it just sounds like a weird time to have the conversation. So it's weird to say. So sometimes, honestly, since, I'm the one with the ring, I have found myself sometimes just saying husband, because saying husband doesn't elicit any, oh, congratulations type of response. It just kind of is. And then my fiance, who doesn't have a ring on his finger, sometimes he says wife, but then sometimes he says girlfriend too, just to kind of skip the awkward fiance, oh, congratulations, when's your wedding type of conversation. So I don't know if that's just us, but I don't know. It seems a little cringy sometimes. Seems that for most people nowadays, any type of wedding that you choose to have has some sort of expense. So, finances are a big concern when it comes to weddings. Setting aside money for a wedding can be something that you plan for before getting engaged, or something that you don't plan for, or something that you don't need to plan for. It just really depends on your situation. Something that I hear a lot for a lot of different things in life, but especially for weddings, is to not break the bank. So don't spend too much that you go into extreme debt. And debt and extreme debt and breaking the bank and all of that, it means something different to each person and each couple. And so that is something that needs to be discussed and needs to be planned for just as a couple, to talk about how much you are okay with spending, how much would you not be okay with spending, how much would be too much, and just make sure that you are on the same page for wedding planning. If you, of course, do go into extreme debt, or, you know, spend more money than you want to, that can unfortunately lead to a lot of resentment and stress in your partnership. Something that has helped me a lot with this, in just knowing how much things cost in the wedding industry and how much people spend depending on what wedding you want to have, is I have talked to a lot of people and I have done a lot of research. So I've talked to people who have had weddings in the past, friends, family, things like that, and just kind of gotten as much information as I can. Also, researching certain vendors or certain average wedding expenses, certain venue expenses in the specific area that you want to get married. That can be really helpful. But there are a lot of affordable options out there now, and the wedding industry is really just kind of booming and is a huge industry, and there is a lot of money in it. But you can have the wedding of your dreams and you can have the most special day without spending too much money. Another aspect of finances is if family is helping you out. And my fiance and I are lucky enough that we are having our family help us out. And I know that not everyone has this privilege. So that is something that we definitely do not take for granted. But with that, there are a lot of feelings of guilt, and we are definitely experiencing that. And it's something that we are pretty candid with our family, in just how it feels kind of weird that we're like, okay, hey, we're engaged, help us pay for the wedding. It just feels kind of weird because we are adults. We are in our late 20s. And so it is a strange situation. There can be a lot of guilt, or relief if family is helping out. So that is something, it's okay to acknowledge that. And what our families say to us, and hopefully is kind of the general consensus of families that are helping out, are that this is kind of the last time or the only time that families can help with a huge, meaningful event like this, since we are adults. So this is something that, they've wanted to do for a long time, and they're very, very happy to do it. So that is, of course, extremely, extremely generous, and we are so grateful. But there is that sense of guilt, and that's been really hard for us to deal with. But I do think that talking about it is very important, and just being open with your loved ones about that. And on that note as well, I have also known a lot of people who their parents offer to help with a wedding, or their families offer to help, and they say no, they want to do it on their own and they want to have the wedding that they want to have. And it really just depends on family dynamics, because there's a lot of complicated stuff in families, which I will get to in a moment. Something important to touch on before getting to families is body image. So there is a huge societal norm and expectation to have a wedding body or look perfect for your wedding and all of that. There is even, there's places down the street from where I live and they advertise get Botox, get facials, get your wedding glow or look your best for your wedding, things like that. And I think that definitely feeds into the intense body image pressure that there is leading up to the wedding. This pressure to look perfect body wise can be present for any sex, any gender, anybody and everyone, but I think it is especially present for women. There is that old cliche of the bride starving herself for her wedding, or you see in old movies and TV shows that the bride is so hungry on her wedding day because she hasn't eaten for the past 3 months, things like that, which are just absolutely ridiculous, I think. Now, don't get me wrong, I think that it is amazing if someone wants to eat well and work out more and just feel healthy, but to do it for yourself and not for the wedding photos. Do it for yourself, not for, the wedding day. I think that with all those changes of diet, nutrition, working out, things like that, then it should always be meant for you to feel good and try as best you can to remove yourself from the societal expectations. I know it is very hard to, but just to kind of reframe it in your mind of, okay, this is for me. The wedding date is a date where I want to feel my best. And if you want to, work out and eat healthy and do all those things before that, then it serves as a good marker. But just remember to do it for yourself. And this is something that I am definitely doing. I mean, I have been eating healthy and working out for a long time, but now since the wedding is coming up, I'm like, all right, I, have wanted to get my arms toned for so long. Now is the time to do it. Let's get it done. And it's not for the wedding. It's not for the wedding photos. The wedding is just kind of a time marker and a motivation, but I'm doing it for me. It's something that I wanted to do for a while and I want it to last my whole life. So I think that those healthy lifestyle changes are always great. And if the wedding is the motivation for that, awesome. But don't let it be the pressure. And that's something that I struggle with too. And I still remind myself of and try to work on. But since getting engaged, I have always been in the mindset of the wedding body does not exist. You should love your body no matter what, and not just on your wedding day, but love your body all the time. And, you got engaged in this body, you've done so much in this body. Why do you need to change it for your wedding day? But of course, in a healthy way is always great. So now let's talk about family stuff. With weddings, it is important to note that if there are any existing challenges, any existing dynamics, disagreements in the family, they usually do not get better when it comes to weddings or wedding planning. There is this concept that weddings can tear families apart, and unfortunately, that does happen. Hopefully that has not happened to anyone who is listening. But I have heard horror stories of families that have major challenges during wedding planning or on the wedding day, and that causes rifts between family members for years to come. So to avoid that, I say that as early on as you can in your wedding process, set expectations with your family members. Let them know expectations for finances, expectations for how much you want them to be involved, and make sure that you are clear your needs from them and also what you don't need from them. And of course, these can change over the process, but just open and honest communication is so, so important. Remember also that it is impossible to please everyone. And this is really hard to wrap your head around, especially if you are a people pleaser, especially if you care a lot about your family and want everyone to be happy. But just keep reminding yourself that this special day is about you and your partner. And so you don't have to listen to Aunt Linda's opinion about the flowers. You don't have to listen to any of that. You can set expectations, set boundaries with family members, and hopefully they know that this day is about you and not about them. Try to remember that although this day is special for everyone, it is meant to be special just for you and your partner. And it's to celebrate the fact that you're getting married and celebrating the fact that you are so, so in love, that you are making this commitment. To remember those things, you can, of course, write them down or just discuss often with your partner why you're getting married and what you as a couple value for this special day and how you envision this day. Just to remind yourselves when things get tough, especially with family, of what it is most important. For an anxious person like me, wedding planning does cause anxiety. I feel like there just has kind of been an undercurrent of anxiety for me over the past few months that I have had to manage. And, that may be true for a lot of people. And I think that that's normal. It doesn't mean that, you're having anxiety because this is the wrong person or you're, so stressed about all the details. It's just weddings are, as I said, a big change and there's a lot to do. And it kind of always feels like there is something to do. And sometimes it is hard to balance work and social life and things like that because, planning a wedding, it adds another layer to your life that you didn't have before. So that is a huge, huge change. And I think it's okay to have anxiety about that. I know that I do. And so something that helps me with that is I talk to my fiance about it a lot. I let him know when I'm feeling anxious and if he could help out with something, or I just pause on responding to emails about wedding stuff or looking at things. But I really try to make it enjoyable. So when I'm in the mood to search, florals or bridesmaid dresses or all of that, then it really is so fun for me because I am in the right headspace to do it. And it doesn't feel like a chore. It feels like something I get to look forward to doing at the end of the day. When I'm done with work and we're on the couch with our dog watching TV, then I can just do some research and it feels really enjoyable. I have also had to let go of my perfectionism a little bit during this process so far and just continue reminding myself that nothing can be perfect. Something will go wrong on the wedding day and it's okay. I will just let it be. It's okay that not everything is perfect. The perfect thing about it is that I will be marrying the love of my life with all our friends and family surrounding us. So, if only that happens, then that's enough. So I just keep reminding myself that. And another thing too is just trying to stay in the present. So with wedding planning, you can always be thinking about the future. And I know everyone says, live in the moment, stay in the moment. And it is really challenging when you have this big life event that's kind of looming and, however far it is away, it is there. And so I really try to stay present. I try to stay present with my clients in session and with my dog when I take him to the park and with my fiance and just continue to enjoy life together in addition to wedding planning, not making wedding planning our whole lives. I think that a way to do this is, keep having date nights with your partner, not only talking about wedding stuff. You can talk about it a little bit, or you can just say, we're not talking about anything wedding tonight. And just making sure that you have that connection together without wedding talk, because your relationship is not totally about the wedding, right? You're getting married because you have this amazing relationship for other reasons. So just remembering that as well. Something else that is a great way to take care of your mental health while wedding planning is, of course, going to therapy and continuing to go to therapy if you already have been. As I said, wedding planning it adds an extra layer to your life. It adds a big thing that is coming and that is happening. And so it makes sense to have to process that and to want to talk to someone about it who is a third party. So I've continued therapy through this whole process, and it's awesome to see my therapist and just kind of talk about everything that's going on and the stress and the overwhelm, but also the joy and the happiness. So that has been really great for me. And something else that couples do that we have not done yet, I don't know if we will, but going to couples therapy is not uncommon before the wedding. And this does not mean that you are failing at doing the wedding planning yourself or that you're failing as a couple. It's not that at all. I think that why people go to couples therapy before their wedding is because they just need to talk through some things. Maybe there's some stuff from the relationship that's still lingering a bit, and you just want to get it all out there and discuss it before you make this big commitment. And not saying that they would change the big commitment or make you not go through with it, but there's always things to improve, always things to work on. And it would be awesome when you're standing at the altar to just feel like you have laid everything on the table. Your relationship is so strong. And I think couples therapy can really help with that. It can also help with your relationship throughout the process, because sometimes couples do get so ingrained and so enmeshed in the wedding planning process that they forget why they're even getting married, or they forget, what makes their relationship so special. And so couples therapy can help remind you of that. So that is a really great thing to do if you are willing and able. And that is all I have to say for now about mental health tips while wedding planning. I hope it was helpful to listen to. I hope it resonated with some of you, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you for listening to Just Therapist Things, and I will talk to you soon.